Welcome back to the Commercial Real Estate Show. I'm Michael Bull. Today we're talking about high performance business development. My guest is Rod Santomassimo. He's founder and president of the Massimo Group. And Rod, one of the things that all business people are interested in for their business is business development. And there's a lot of techniques, there's a lot of ways out there. Give us some ideas of what works best.
Sure. First of all, nothing doesn't work. Right? So
nothing isn't a winner.
Everything works. It's just how you put it together. You got to think about, and this is one of the challenges folks have. It's not a postcard. It's not a letter. It's not a vlog or a blog or a tweet. It's not. It's everything together in a campaign. Mm-hmm. So you have to look at your audience and say, what's the best way to reach them? And once I reach them and connect, have the prospect call, whatever it might be. What's the follow-up materials? So you should look at everything as a campaign and not just an individual event. So let me give you an example. So let's say our company, someone finds us on Facebook through an ad. So then they schedule a consult perhaps, or they ask for a free video series of the Michael Bull Commercial Real Estate Show, or something of that type. But we're getting dripped all along the way, and that's the right word to use. We're dripping them with content, valuable content all along the way, no matter what your audience may be. And so when the prospect call is integrated during that campaign, you've already established your presence. So yes, postcards. Yes, I don't call the word, I know people use this word, we don't use this. Case studies. To me, that's NyQuil, but success stories, right? Success stories. And those can be given mail with a prospect letter. Think about it. A prospect letter, this is what we're going to do. And by the way, as proof, here's what we've done, right? That's a really nice business development tool. Yeah. Certainly, you got to get out there. You have to get out there and be seen within your audience. Mm-hmm. In large groups, one-on-one is the most effective. We believe that you should have your list of top 100 influencers in the marketplace, and those you will go out one-on-one with. Michael's entire campaign of prospecting, of presence, and every methodology, integrate that to go after a client.
Yeah, and you talk about the drip campaign of getting things out there that your audience wants to hear. But I guess the first thing you had to do is really well define your audience and then figure out what is it they want to see and want to know about, right?
Absolutely. We call that the avatar. Everyone should have their avatar. And we've seen companies where they'll have cereal boxes, believe it or not, in their lobby of their 3 avatars. This is their avatars. Mm-hmm. So for us, new to the business, mid-career, top performer. Those are our avatars for us. And we have certain messages because we know the struggles and the issues. And that's what you need to find out. If you're going after an audience, right? So who they influenced by, what issues are common to them. And by the way, this is not hard to do. I know one of the studies, Hoover's, for example, puts out great material on the issues facing every industry leader in every industry, every CEO. And you can subscribe to that and see what issues they're facing. Gives you great content to go after them from a prospecting perspective.
Right. And one of the things you mentioned there was events. And it seems like events can be very time consuming, especially if you have to travel to get there and spend to get there. What are some tips for salespeople and business owners related to them?
Number one, you should always let people know you're going in advance, and you should schedule as many meetings as possible. If you're just going to show up and see who you see, it's kind of a lost leader already. If you can't define to yourself and to your peers, right, what success looks like coming back from the event. For example, I'm going to an event tonight and tomorrow. And I have a certain metric, and this sounds really simple and crazy, but we created special cards for this event. We're sending everyone to a website just for this event. And I have 100 cards. And I told myself, if I don't get 100 cards, it's a complete failure for me. That's just what it is. So what does success look like? Also be careful. There are people that are really, really involved socially in every event, but the problem is they're not prospecting. They're becoming famous, but not becoming wealthy.
Right. And this card that you're giving out, does it also have a specific landing page?
Yes, specific landing page. We make sure, and that's a great idea, Michael. We use it. So that's why it's a great idea, right?
Right.
Yes. Just think about a business card, but if you have a targeted audience, right, how can you send them to a landing page? Don't think a website, just think landing page, lead page. Google it if you're not sure what that is. And it goes right to a direct page, which is a direct message for that audience.
Right.
Exactly right.
And then plus, even if it's a URL that you can just kind of gauge, and then maybe it even forwards to another page you already have on your site. But at least you can see it came from that event, right?
Absolutely.
Or that advertising, right? And we do that. Some of the advertisers on our show will do that. Well, they'll have a certain URL, so they can kind of gauge what we're sending them, especially since we're sending them click-throughs and voice. Right, people are just hearing their name and just Googling it, right? Well, if they're hopefully if they're going to that one URL, you know where it came from. What about, and we're short on the break, but what about social media? Important?
Very important. Very important. You know, I preach the personal, physical, digital in my presence approach. It's a piece that you cannot ignore anymore because your competition is doing it. If you're not, you're going to get lost.
Yeah. Well, I want to know some more about that. I think a lot of our viewers and listeners are running businesses, and they're curious because, it seems like social media is free, but it's really not free. When you think about the time and effort you got to put in, you got to think about the content, you got to think about the audience, the message. And one of the things I want to ask you when we get back is, which ones are best? Which of these social media sites are best for businesses that are trying to do business generation and get leads? So stay with us. We'll have more from Rod Santomassimo. I'm Michael Bull. This is the Commercial Real Estate Show. Stay with us. Hey there, thanks for checking out the Commercial Real Estate Show. Don't miss a video of special interest to you. Be sure to subscribe below. And if you appreciate the videos, be sure and thank our sponsors. There's a link to more information about them in the description. For more videos, podcasts, and articles, check out creshow.com.